Go drop like rain, nigga, watch me hit those trees.
Alright, let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. Today's video is ranking the Konoha 12 pre-time skip, and I gotta say, I was a little surprised where the rankings came out, but without further ado, let's start off this video at the bottom with number 12, Tenten. And I want to make this clear, this isn't strictly about strength, although that does play a part. The reason Tenten lands dead last is because while making the list for this video, I got to 11 and literally had to go team by team until I realized I forgot Tenten. And that perfectly describes her in entirety. She's forgettable, and her fighting style would give her some points, but it's never really effective or visually pleasing, or dynamic. And it's a pretty simple concept that could easily be replicated without skill. Not to say that Tenten has no skill, we just never see it. Ever. So Tenten takes up the bottom spot, but just above her in the 11th spot is Kiba. And had I not struggled to remember Tenten existed, I would have put him in last place because the only redeeming quality in Kiba's boring beige existence is Akamaru, and Kiba even brings him down. I would have liked it way better if it was just Akamaru and he was just a dog that learned to be a ninja. And actually it's almost like he is, because without Akamaru, Kiba is just Kiba, and short of protecting Akamaru, he doesn't do anything except lose. But our next entry is far less dog and a lot more pig, because Ino is our number 10 spot, and I don't really have much to say about that other than the only reason she makes it above Tenten and Kiba is because I had no trouble remembering her, and she's arguably cuter than Akamaru. And it's not like she has more wins than either of them, but she certainly has more draws. And maybe I'll do a video on it, but all in all, I don't think her fight with Sakura is that bad. But moving on to the next slot, our number 9 spot goes to Hinata. And Hinata has more impact and fighting spirit than all the people mentioned before her, but what holds her back is she's barely alive. Like, she has no character, not enough screen time, and even when she talks, it sounds like she's trying to force an elephant through a trumpet. But because she's the main character's love interest, she gains a boost in almost everything really, from her importance to her actual power, although it is shown she trained pretty hard, so give or take. But our number 8 is Shino. And I'm gonna be honest, at first glance, I thought Shino would be closer to the top half of the list. But after looking it over, and the fact that Shino is barely a thing, and he's not nearly as hype as people make him out to be, because regular elemental ninjutsu should do the trick, even if the bugs absorb chakra, because they're not reverting a ninjutsu to pure chakra, and if they are, we have to have a whole different meaning about Shino, because 1, that makes no sense, and 2, is wildly overpowered because it means any construct of chakra should be susceptible to Shino's bugs, i.e. Madara Susanoo or Hashirama's wood golem. So no. But coming in directly after Shino at number 7 is Shikamaru. And again, I thought Shikamaru would for sure be in the top 5, but he just doesn't do much for me as a personality, especially since he doesn't really match his archetype. Because, like I've said before, they say Shikamaru has a high IQ, and he does, but a lot of the stuff we see from Shikamaru is far from what I think his potential was. But as a character alone, it throws him past most others, because as I look back on the series, Shikamaru actually had one of the saddest ongoing plots. Like, it wasn't his backstory that was sad, it was his development. And I think Shikamaru went through some of the best story beats we see in Naruto, but because Shikamaru isn't a main character and has very limited screen time, that whole resolution, as cool as it is, kind of comes from a smokescreen, if you get what I mean. And if not, leave a comment. And I'm for sure catching flack for this one, but Choji is number 6. And only based off the fact that I like butterfly mode that much. It's such a cool premise and aesthetic. Plus, this technique is so rare and unique, it's like the Akamichi's version of the Sharingan. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't think he had one of the best finishers in the series in his fight with Jirobo. But since there's really not a lot to say about Choji, let's go to our 5th pick, and it's surprisingly Sakura. And crazy thing is, Sakura is just a worse Ino with more screen time in OG Naruto. But the few moments she has before Shippuden are big enough for me to put her here, and even without those moments, the fact that she was in such close proximity to the main 2 characters would have put her above Ino anyway, just because we see her more. But adding back in the moments focused on her, you kind of have to put Sakura at least 5 because she ends up being so attached to the story even before the time skip. I've heard people say you could remove her and nothing changes, but a lot of the subtle context comes from Sakura and her actions, like the fact that she was better than both Sasuke and Naruto at tree climbing, but neither one of them saw her as a rival or threat, shows how beyond Naruto and Sasuke's personal relationship and rivalry, these three are actually good friends and good teammates, to the point where not only do Sasuke and Naruto seem okay with Sakura being better than them, they take her advice and pretty highly so too. And Sakura's big speech at Sasuke reveals that Sasuke, although going willingly to Orochimaru, seems to not necessarily be 100% falling to the darkness the way others portray him to. And it's this same softness with Sakura that gave their later relationship any credibility at all, so yeah, 5th place. But coming in at number 4 is Neji, and OG Naruto is like the bulk, 95% of the screen time Neji has. So for him to be this high on the list says something, because when Neji is introduced, it seems like his team is being set up to be a rival team to Squad 7. But in terms of time we get to see him, very quickly he turns tide and is now a Naruto backer, and after that he gets his big moment in the Sasuke retrieval arc. But when it comes to character and just how much potential Neji had in part 1, he was looking to be a mainstay in the series, but you know how that works out. So getting into our top 3, at this point it's kind of obvious who's left. But the fact that Lee made it to number 3 is kind of surprising, and not because of Lee's feats, because if we were going specifically off of Lee's feats, he would land here easily, maybe have even made it to 2 depending on how you feel about Sasuke, using his Sharingan to copy Lee's taijutsu, and I kind of just gave away the rest of the list, but you probably could have inferred that yourself. But just in case, Sasuke is 2 and Naruto is 1, and the reason I put Naruto above Sasuke in this case is simply because of feats. They both have about the same amount of character for me, with Sasuke just barely edging Naruto out, but Naruto beating a tailed beast and participating in a Sannin level fight shot him to number 1. But hey, that's the video. Let me know what you thought of my rankings. What is some of your rankings? Toss that down in the comments. Leave a like if you like, do a subscribe if you're scribe subs. I hope you enjoyed the video, because I appreciate you for watching, and until next time, peace.
That thunder on me clap, make a nigga think before he act. Have a nigga dying on his back, then we double back. Shooters leaving rubber where you at, that's why niggas never wanna match.